So this is called Native American restaurants, but they're showing what looks to be like a Red Lobster or something. Seafood buffet at Marengo Casino. So this is like a restaurant at a casino, I guess? Perhaps on a reservation or run by Native Americans. I don't know.
Video on why are there no Native American restaurants?
Oh boy, Hans, wait until you hear about this. Okay, so Hans, fun fact. For one thing, Native Americans, well, we sort of collectivize them. Quite unfortunately, honestly. We're not one people. You know, they were, various tribes from all around the United States, or what became the United States. And they were basically genocided. So there are very few left relative to how many there used to be. Let's see. There probably are, though. Let's see. Native American restaurants. 10 places serving Native American cuisine. Pueblo Harvest Cafe in Albuquerque, New Mexico. View the gallery, I guess. Oh, it's fucking Pinterest. Kai at the Sheraton Wild Horse Pass in Phoenix. The Sioux Chef in Minneapolis. Payquote Cafe in Ledyard, Connecticut. Oh boy, sorry, I'm probably going to butcher this. Werowocomoco Restaurant in Gracerville, California. Maze in Santa Fe, New Mexico. 4 by Brother Luck in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Off the Res in Seattle. Mitzitum Cafe in Washington, D.C. Tiwa Kitchen Restaurant and Bakery in Taos, New Mexico. So, like, these do exist, Hans. Let's see if we can find any more. Let me see if I can just find a map, right? Are there any near me? Wow, there are none in Michigan. That's a shame. But they do exist, Hans. You can find them, right? It's just that, unfortunately, because of the history of the United States and how natives were treated, there just aren't a ton of them left. It's really fucked. And a lot of them live on reservations. Not every Native American, obviously, but, But they do exist. Look at how many there are here, down south. What state is this? I'm bad at states. Arizona. It looks like there's a fuck ton in Arizona. I'm surprised there aren't more in Michigan. We do have, an indigenous population. Oh, we have some. Okay. Anyway. So. They exist.
I grew up in a town right next to a tribe. And I've never heard of their food. I've never seen a restaurant that serves their food. I've never eaten acorn bread in my life. I
mean, you could probably go get some. Let's see. Acorn bread. Let's find some acorn bread. You can find some recipes and make your own gosh darn acorn bread. Delicious. Let me see if they sell it somewhere. Could I buy acorn bread? You can get acorn coffee substitute. You can just buy a bunch of acorns, make your own gosh darn acorn bread. There's a recipe book. I've never had acorn bread, but it looks good. Looks like a dense, delicious bread. I don't know where you live, Hans, but you could probably find a Native American restaurant somewhere in your area.
Don't have that on the menu at the local buffet, and there seems no interest to show a true culture. They just are casinos. Nowadays it's just casinos, and it's like a...
Hans, do you think the entirety of what Native Americans are the very few who own casinos? Because that's fucked up, and not the case.
It's like a shame ritual for these Native Americans. It's almost like they didn't even have the choice. They just all have casinos now.
No, they don't. Hans, what are you talking about? This is so fucked up. That's not the case.
or it just shows you that they're all giant hypocrites. But to me, it's almost even like it was forced upon them. As I mean, you know how the celebrities, they have to go through these embarrassing rituals sometimes. They force them to do these embarrassing things. They have no choice. It's like a form of showing submission.
Hans, I don't know if you know much about the history of the United States and the United States government's treatment of native peoples, but boy, oh boy, should you do some research.
That's kind of how it seems with the tribes. It's like they wanted to legalize gambling, but instead of just legalizing gambling, they did it in a very controlled way. Think of how
Hans, the reason that there are many in the casino business around the country, why Indian casino gaming laws exist, I say that because that's what they're called, even though they're Native Americans, is because that often they can make rules on their own land, because the native peoples of this country have ended up brokering, deals with the United States government after all the genocide and all the land stealing, all that fun stuff, where they have reservations or land that is their own, and they get to dictate the law on their own land. So in order to make money, some of these places have started casinos because they can dictate whether or not gaming is legal on their own property. And they've made a decent bit of money on it. Unfortunately, it goes to very few. Welcome to capitalism. Well, lots of other people living on reservations are, not having a good time living in poverty. Not good. So, maybe take 5 seconds to look into this before you start talking about it, Hans.
controlled it is. It's all through the tribes thing. I think that's how that works. The fake tribes. So, yeah, right. They don't have any culture. They don't have any culture.
Fuck you! Are you serious? You're gonna try and say, and by the way, again, he's grouping, all First Peoples from the States, and I guess from, all of North America, into one group, as if they didn't have rich cultural heritage in each of the tribes that was fucking decimated by what happened in this country as a result of the United States government and settlers killing countless numbers of these people. It's fucked up.
Cultural food. Their cultural food's McDonald's. Look at them.
Fuck you, bro. Are you serious? Native American cuisine. And Hans has the gall to call me a bully when he goes on with this fucking racist shit. You can find a ridiculous amount of information about this. This is a whole Wikipedia page just on the cuisine of Native Americans. Are you fucking kidding me, Hans? Do you understand that the New World is where, corn comes from, and tomatoes, and all sorts of delicious yum-yums that we put in our food? You fucking idiot.
And they all just have given up their life so easy. How long has it taken? Now they're just all accepting money from the casinos. And it's basically...
This is some, racist-ass shit! Claiming that, every native somehow has their hand in the casino business when this is not the case. Jesus Christ, Hans.
Hush money, I think, to keep all the secrets. How come all that they have to offer us is studded leathers and turquoise inlaid leathers and turquoise rings? That's their culture?
This is some, full-on mask-off racist horse shit. Cotton Candy 903 with 10 bits. I'm part of, I'm probably going to mispronounce this, I apologize. Oneida of, oh gosh. Cotton Candy says, I'm part of Oneida of Haudenosaunee, Iroquois Confederacy. I don't know my own family history because of how horrible Native Americans have been treated. My great-grandfather refused to talk about to his kids because of racism and Christianization. It's very sad. Sorry to hear that. It's fucked up. So fucked.
How come they all do the same thing? They're all the same.
Does it surprise me? It surprises me every time, even though I know Hans is racist. But, like, so fucking disgusting.
Same thing. Why don't they... There's nothing unique to any tribe. If there is, it's, like, subtle, very subtle.
Fuck you, Hans. You do not know what you are talking about. Stop talking out of your back end.
They all wear the feather dresses, and they all...
Hey, here's this video if you want to, I don't know, report it? Or do anything in regard to Hans's fucking racism? Jesus Christ.
do the powwows, and they all have their casinos. It's all just the same thing. That doesn't make sense to me. It's just because it's Hollywood cowboys and
This isn't even... This is uploaded in January of this year. This isn't like a 7-year-old video.
Indians. They're just playing a part. All the...
Not that that would necessarily be better, but we've seen Hans improve on some things, like the T-slur, but, like, this is goddamn absurd. May Griffin, 64, thanks for following.
World's a stage. Go look at them. They're all trannies.
Hans thinks everyone's trans.
They're mostly trannies. I'm sure there's some real females mixed in there, but Native Americans, yeah, they're trannies. They're just a part of the psyop. Same thing with the slaves. I think what the point of this is, they want all these oppressed groups of people, trannies, so that you don't realize that you're the oppressed one, that you're the slave. They don't want, when you hear the word slave, they don't want you thinking to the slaves in Egypt. They don't want you to think of the slavery that's happening right now to regular people, to natural people. They want you going to their fake, scapegoat, what do you call it? Like a...
How does he still have a channel? His channel's been deleted multiple times. This is like his 3rd or 4th channel.
It's not, there's no sub.
So if you guys report this video, this channel might disappear, which would probably be good. I'd have less content, but honestly, fuck this guy. He's awful.
Substance to it. None of these people were slaves ever. Their ancestors weren't really slaves. They were probably just playing a part. And nowadays we're slaves. So yeah, I think that's basically what it is. What are the Native American tribes? It's just a fake backstory. Because they always just want to obscure history with these fake backstories. And writing his story and just tranny actors playing their tranny part. And so I've just started getting my first Native American hater.
Does Hans not believe in chattel slavery? No, he doesn't. He's made a whole video on it, which I've covered before. It's sick.
There's FTM with a 222 coding all over their icon. And so that's good. That means that this is a good place to keep talking about. And let me know, you can let me know if you've ever been to a Native...
He's the fucking worst. Hans is legit an awful person. It's hilarious, too, because he, is like, oh, I'm this great Christian, and he does nothing but insult other people and cast aspersions on them. Hans, didn't Jesus say, he who hath never sinned cast the first stone? What are you doing? You're, being racist. You're being sexist. You're being transphobic. You're being awful to every group of people that aren't you. It's so fucked.